We have breaking news that the Toronto Blue Jays have just made a big trade, trading Justin Turner to the Seattle Mariners. And this is a move that happened mid-game. Justin Turner already got a hit in today's game, and now he's on the way out of Toronto. And this is signifying an absolute fire sale for the Toronto Blue Jays, as they are dealing everybody who is not under control next season. And it seems like every single player on the Toronto Blue Jays, minus a couple, are up to potentially get traded. So we're going to break down this trade, discuss who the Jays got back, and much more in this episode of Jays Digest. What's up, Jays fans? Nick Gosse, your host of Jays Digest. And crazy stuff is going down right now. I did not expect to make this video. The Jays are obviously in the midst of a doubleheader. They're in the first game of that. I just got home, and literally the Jays just traded for Justin Turner. Now, the exact package in return is unknown at this time. I will continue to update my Twitter as I'm recording this to see if the package gets revealed, but we do have some information about the package back. But Justin Turner's a guy that we weren't 100% sure was going to get traded, but after all of this stuff that's been happening, he has been traded. Now, this has been a fire sale for the Toronto Blue Jays. They traded Jansen, they traded everybody. I don't think anybody at this point is safe besides maybe Vladdy and Bo, but even them, there's been some rumblings about potentially them getting shopped this trade deadline. And I'm glad that Ross Atkins, we'll get into this in a second, I'm glad that Ross Atkins has went this route, but let's not waste any more time. So literally 8 minutes ago, the Jays, again, I was watching the game. Justin Turner got a hit earlier in the game, and then he got removed from the game, and he was traded to the Seattle Mariners, and in exchange for Justin Turner. Now, Seattle obviously gets Turner, and the Mariners are getting Justin Turner. It's one minor league prospect in return. He hasn't been informed yet, and at this time, we don't know exactly who the prospect is. Now, I don't imagine it's going to be a crazy prospect, but let me know down in the comments who the exact prospect is. We'll probably have another video or some sort of content coming out soon revealing the prospect, just going over the trade entirely. Peter's not able to make this one. He's at work, I believe, so I'm just hopping on it now as soon as we can. And again, this is an interesting trade. So you're looking at the Mariners and another trade with the Blue Jays with the Seattle Mariners, which is very interesting. And as of the time of recording, the package just got released. So the Blue Jays are getting RJ Schreck is the return for the Toronto Blue Jays. So you're getting live information right now as the time recording. So RJ Schreck is the prospect of return for the Toronto Blue Jays, and a very interesting return. Now, you look at Justin Turner, and you can see this here again. It literally just happened. This is craziness. It's very rare that you see a Blue Jays or a player in general get removed from a game and then just get traded, but it's been happening so much this season. Now, you can look at Justin Turner's stats here. Now, Justin Turner is a veteran guy. He's an absolute veteran, and really he's been a very decent player for the Blue Jays this season. So he obviously put up a 106 OPS plus, and luckily for the Toronto Blue Jays, he started to heat up at the right time to where maybe he could get a prospect, because there was a point where he was one of the worst qualified hitters in baseball, just alongside George Springer, and it was at the point where the Jays were wondering, hey, are we even going to get enough out of him to get a decent return of any sort of prospect? And they ended up getting RJ Schreck, who is an outfielder. So he is an outfielder. He is 24 years old. He's currently playing for the Seattle A. They played Double A. He's played A+ this season. He's put up an 865 OPS in A ball over at 78 games. So I just searched that up live on the fly. He's put up an 865, I believe, OPS throughout his games, an 865 OPS. So that's a pretty okay prospect. Now, I'll have another video probably going into the in-depth stats of the return, but I just wanted to get this out as soon as we could. But a very interesting prospect. So you can now feel prospect back for Justin Turner, who, again, they're getting a lot of guys. A 25-year-old or 24-year-old outfielder. They are stocking up this system. And again, for Justin Turner, if you're a Mariners fan, I mean, you're getting a guy who mashes lefties, who has a veteran presence. He's won before with the Dodgers. He's been an all-star. And last season, he put up an 800 OPS. And he's really starting to heat up for this Toronto Blue Jays team, who will now, hopefully, he has a chance now to, make a push for the Seattle Mariners. And if you're unfamiliar with the return for RJ Schreck, again, the return is RJ Schreck. He's a 24-year-old. He was taken in the 9th round out of Vanderbilt last year and was just promoted to Double A, and had 12 home runs in the minors and A+ ball, putting up around an 800 OPS. So a very solid prospect you're getting back here, a 24-year-old outfielder with a lot of potential who was just promoted to Double A. So he's not going to make an impact right away, but you're looking at this guy and you're getting a prospect back. You're getting high upside guys back. Now, he's not super young. He is 24 years old. But we're now talking about a player who, at one point in Justin Turner, had no value for the Toronto Blue Jays. Like, we were literally talking about him getting not DFA necessarily because of his contract. He's on a 1-year, $18 million deal. But just hoping to get any sort of value. And now you got a decent prospect back for Justin Turner. And again, the funny thing is, and it's only the one prospect in return, which is obviously RJ Schreck, but he's a left-handed hitter and he mashes, quite frankly. And this is pretty interesting here. The interesting thing now for the Toronto Blue Jays is how this affects the rest of their deadline. So you're obviously got another prospect for Justin Turner. It seems like a fire sale at this point. The biggest question marks, and reports have come out that Yusei Kikuchi is as good as gone, as we know. We'll probably have another video on that soon. And I suspect Yusei Kikuchi will get traded tomorrow. My guess is at the deadline tomorrow, they're going to have all the teams coming in and bidding against each other, because Kikuchi, depending on what happens with Jack Flaherty, who was removed, or whose start was canceled today, so he's not going to start anymore in honor of protecting his trade value, and a trade's going to happen. He's going to be the best pitcher available on the market, assuming Tarek Skubal is going to remain a Detroit Tiger, which is about a 50% chance at this point. But interesting what's going to happen now for the Toronto Blue Jays, because you look at Chad Green, he should probably go, even though he has control. You look at IKF, another year of control, he should probably go. The packages you're getting back for a lot of these players is pretty good. It seems like a bit of a seller's market here, and that is obviously due to the fact that there is extra wildcard spots over the past few years, which has lent credits to the fact that everybody tends to buy at the deadline because everyone wants to make the playoffs. The owners want to get that revenue in and all these things. But for the Toronto Blue Jays, they're going in a full sell mode here, and you cannot blame them whatsoever. A full sell mode is exactly what they needed to do. I'm super happy that they're actually doing it. I was worried they're going to do some half, sell, half buy, but they're not. They're going full sell mode right now. Obviously, they're keeping some of their key pieces, but I wouldn't be surprised if maybe even Chris Bassett's on the block, Kevin Gausman's on the block. I think ultimately those two guys stay, and they keep Vladdy, they keep Bo. But there is a chance where they're going to trade Yusei Kikuchi. They're probably going to trade Chad Green. They might trade Trevor Richards, whose value is at an all-time low right now. And they traded Justin Turner, whose value is at an all-time high for this season, as he's been on an absolute heater as of late. He's leading the league in ground ball double plays, but that's besides the point here. A guy who's starting today got traded, which leads me to believe that maybe they didn't. This trade must have happened very, very fast, because he was literally playing in the game today, and that's why usually these type of things don't happen. And yeah, again, double A outfielders, the return. Nothing too crazy, but definitely not bad at all. An okay return. I'm very curious to see what you guys think of this. And again, it's not a huge package back. You're getting one outfield prospect who hasn't lit up anything, but we're getting an outfield prospect who's 24 years old in exchange for a 39-year-old who's on the tail end of his career with 1 year left on his deal, being this year. So no years left on his deal after this. This is his last season. You're getting a prospect that has an 800 plus OPS in Double A. Like, you take that 9 times out of 10, you'd be happy with the package you got back. There was a point where the Jays weren't going to get anything back, and now you get an outfield prospect. So it's going to be interesting. But what's really going to be interesting is to see where they go from here with this team, because I'm happy the fire sale is happening. They're really restocking their farm system with great guys. They started off with Jonathan Clase, which is one of the steals of the trade deadline for the Toronto Blue Jays, in my opinion at least. And now from here, we're going to see what they do with Chad Green, Trevor Richards, all these guys, and Yusei Kikuchi, of course, who's going to be traded. But let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on this. I broke some news live for myself as the trade happened of who they got back. So let me know what your thoughts are on Shrek, and thank you guys for watching.